My name is Jackie Weisfield. I've called this Supermom and Administrator in Training because that's what I feel like I'm trying to do most days. So I reside in Colorado with my family, which includes me, my husband, my son, and my dog. We are really out in Colorado by ourselves and pretty far away from family. So we don't necessarily have the support in terms of childcare and family support. So we really surround ourselves a lot of times with our friends, do a lot of things um, with our friends on a regular basis. Love Colorado. Can't imagine living anywhere else, even though we don't have that family support. They do come out and visit quite a bit, so that's nice, but it is kind of hard being a young family. So I've been in public education for about 17 or 18 years at this point. I started out my career teaching in a traditional high school. I was a traditional science teacher teaching physical science and chemistry. And then in my third year teaching, really moved on to a very non traditional type of school. So, our school, I spent about 10 years there. I spent four of them advising students. And what that meant was I was their primary teacher and went through project based learning, created projects with the students to earn all of their credits needed for graduation through project based learning, through their interests and their passions. They were allowed to do internships, so I supported those as well. And I spent the last 6 years that I was there as an instructional coach. So have some coaching background, at least in that way. Then I moved on to a nonprofit organization called City Year, where we were working with the most impacted students in Denver public schools. And I spent some time there in an elementary school and in a high school. So I had both ends of the spectrum in terms of interventions. We provided interventions for students to try and make sure that they got back on grade level and were successful in school. From there, I took a little bit of time off when I had my son and then went into Denver Public Schools as a district person, looking and supporting the early colleges in Denver Public Schools. And that grant lasted about a year and a half. And then I moved to Englewood Public Schools, where again, I'm currently on a grant. This time I'm working at Englewood Middle School, and I am a STEM facilitator and STEM coach for the teachers in the school. So, on a daily basis, I start my day by, getting a very stubborn toddler out of the house and into daycare and really move into a bunch of adolescents who are, brain development wise, going through a lot of the same things and a lot of the same feelings that my son is going through. So that's been a really interesting experience as well. My time is split between the classroom and this grant position. And so I start my day with middle school kiddos and I end my day with middle school kiddos. And then in the middle, I help support our teachers with project based learning and inquiry learning in their classrooms and have been able to put some amazing projects together for kids to experience. So that's been great. I took a very roundabout educational path to get into education and to get to where I am. So I started at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and that was um, where I did my undergrad and got a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, and just knew that I was going to be a chemist and I was going to work in a lab and everything was going to be great. So I started pursuing my PhD at Colorado State University. And so, here's my little chemistry path, and then decided to literally cross the street and go into the School of Education. So the chemistry building and the School of Education were right across the street from each other, and ended up getting my master's degree in education, secondary education, science specifically. And then almost within 2 years, I think 3 years, got my um, my endorsement in ELL education for our English language learners. Um, all the populations that I've worked in have been at least 50% Hispanic. So, really having that background in English language learning has been really important in my career. And then, when I went and I was at a nonprofit, I was like, well, is this really what I want to do? Do I still want to do education? Do I want to do nonprofit? What do I want to do? So I started looking at genetic counseling and really didn't know where I was going to go and what I was going to do. So started doing some schooling for that. Ended up not getting into any of the programs, which was a blessing in disguise because then I had my son. And then the administrator licensure program at Fort Hays State has been the first education I've been working on since I had my son about 3.5 years ago. So that's kind of my path that I took to get here. My primary goal right now as a human being is just to survive toddlerhood. I don't know if it's me or my son that picture is meant to represent, but yep, that's what my house looks like 90% of the time. And so right now, like in that 1 to 5 years, we're looking at surviving. Just that development. There's so much going on. And then really my goal in the next 5 to 10 years is finding that work-life balance that really works and what I want to do with my career and making sure that fits and that I can balance everything the way that I feel comfortable doing it. It doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody, but the way that I feel comfortable doing it. And then long term, we have some really lofty financial goals for college for my son and our retirement so that in retirement we can actually enjoy our time together and that my son actually has the opportunity to choose whatever college he wants. So we are saving like nobody's business right now, which is great and difficult. And so, yeah, we have some pretty lofty financial goals personally. Professionally, I want to go back to instructional coaching a little bit more. I'd also like to be a curriculum designer. I've really enjoyed designing our STEM curriculum more than I thought I would. And then maybe ending out my career at some kind of district level coaching position where coaching the coaches kind of job. And then I'm really looking forward to retirement. It seems so far away, but I know it will happen so quickly. Because I feel like one of the perks of being a teacher is that, at least in Colorado, is that our retirement plan is very amazing in terms of the financial support that we get. I chose FHSU based on a recommendation. I had a friend who went through the program, really said it was really great, that she's like, you should really do it. You should do it. It's really affordable. You can do it while you're working full time. And I'm like, I just had a kid. I don't know if I can do it. But really, it was really based on that recommendation from a former student. And what I'm really expecting to get out of the program is understanding of content. I'm expecting to use a bunch of discussion boards, and I'm expecting to do an electronic portfolio. Outside of that, I don't have a ton of expectations for the program. So I hope you enjoyed meeting me, and this is my intro video.